Why do junglers get so much hate? And why do you hate junglers? And as a jungler, why do you think you get so much hate? This is the topic of today's discussion. I want to talk about why do we hate junglers in League of Legends? Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Miscommunication, if you don't already know. And today I want to talk about why do junglers get so much hate in League of Legends. So let's talk about it. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe. I notice about 50% of the people who watch my videos are not even subscribed. Babes, what are we doing? So I've been asking for a lot of feedback from the community in my recent videos, and I even posted on Twitter for this one. I said, I'm planning a YouTube video, but I need your help. Why do you think junglers get so much hate in League of Legends? Or why do you hate junglers? Today, I'm going to be using some of y'all's feedback from Twitter and TikTok in the video. So if you want to make sure that you are included in the next video, because I've got a lot of videos like this planned, make sure you're following me on Twitter and TikTok. My Twitter and my TikTok are both Miscommunication LOL. All right, let's get into the video. So I just want to be clear, I'm not here to argue how hard jungling is or isn't. I am simply here to show junglers what it looks like from the outside looking in, aka the laner's perspective, as well as show the people who are on the outside who don't jungle how junglers feel. I'm trying to create that window pane in between both of y'all so y'all can kind of see what it looks like on the other side. Another thing that we kind of have to remember, as Miss Antia is saying here, some people are just playing farming simulator and they don't do drags or do anything the entire game. We have to dissociate from the player. A bad jungler is going to be a bad jungler on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, there's no discussion there. I am talking about the jungler role as a whole. So we just need to keep that in mind here, that sometimes there's just bad junglers. It is what it is. Okay, now that we've gotten that preface out of the way, let's get into the thick of it. This has been my favorite response out of all of the responses. Nicole made a very great point. Nicole said, laners tend to want the emergency in their lane to constitute an emergency for the jungler. But the jungler can't just focus on that one lane and expect to win the entire game. So people feel ignored because they fixate on their issues rather than the team's. And I think this one is just like, wow, like it's such a great way to start, because this is so true. People often are fixated on themselves and how their lane state is. They're always pinging for assistance. They're always wanting the jungle to come help. But sometimes they don't understand that the jungler is playing for the entire map, not just for one lane. And I know that one lane may think, well, if I get all of these kills, I can carry. I know I can carry. The jungler doesn't know that. Maybe the jungler doesn't have faith in you, or maybe the jungler just wants to put all of their marbles into getting the objectives or getting a hyper carry fed or something of that sort. The opportunities are endless, but I think this one kind of just hits the nail on the head here by putting it all into perspective, that the emergency in their lane is supposed to be the emergency for the jungler. Another strong point that was made is, as a jungler, you're constantly making a decision that'll screw someone over. If you don't farm, you're screwing yourself over. If you go gank a lane, that tells the enemy jungler that they can go gank another lane. Every single move that a jungler makes has a consequence, and people hate when that consequence isn't in their favor. So if the enemy jungler is ganking bot lane, the jungler has to go gank top or go get Herald. If the enemy jungler is ganking top, it's time to get dragon. It's time to gank bot. Next, I see that sometimes laners can be a little bit selfish in their thinking. The laners don't want to play around the jungler. They want to be played around. So like if you see the jungler top, in bot lane, you need to be playing safe because your jungler cannot respond to any ganks that are coming your way. If you see your jungler around bot, maybe it's time for scuttle or dragon. You need to push so you have prio so you can help that jungler get the scuttle, get the dragon. All in all, the junglers are saying that the laners are mad because they don't get babysat, and then the laners are saying that the junglers are not ganking enough. There needs to be some type of meat in the middle, because obviously the jungler cannot be present everywhere. If something's happening on one side, laners need to respect that and allow the jungler to make something happen on the other side. I hope that provides a little bit of clarity. Next up is miscommunication. So a lot of laners complain that junglers are coming in and they're stealing CS, they're stealing kills. But from the jungler's perspective, wouldn't we also have to think like, oh, what if they were trying to help you push the lane so that you can reset after ganks? What if they didn't think that you could get the kill and they're trying to secure that kill, make sure that gold doesn't escape? I think this is all just a big miscommunication, and sometimes typing can help clear this up, but I feel like people are really quick to let their emotions get a hold of them, start spam pinging, people get defensive. Sometimes people don't want to type because that takes too long, that takes away from the gameplay. There's so much miscommunication that can be happening during this game. And this is why a lot of people wish that League of Legends would implement voice comms, but there's always a downside to that. We'll get into that another time. I must say, if they're just stealing your CS or KSing for no reason, like they're tilted, that goes back to being a bad jungler, and for that sake of this argument, we can't even include that in this scenario. That's a whole different ball game. Another complaint that I've seen is people will say that sometimes they aren't responsive to flash timers or wards. Like you say, oh hey, mid doesn't have flash. Sometimes other things come up on the priority list, like getting dragon, getting herald, and the laners that communicate are not getting prioritized. Is that miscommunication? Is that the priority list? Is that being a selfish laner? I don't know. I think that's really up for y'all to decide. But I do think that it's a miscommunication in the sense that the laner who pings like, oh, this is warded, oh, they don't have flash, and the jungler, they're not on the same page. They're not seeing eye to eye. So the play that is wanted by either side isn't happening. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense. I'm so bad at explaining. I'm so sorry guys, but I hope you guys see what I'm trying to say. All right, so I have two more points. The next one is, I think there is a huge lack of understanding of how jungling actually works. People don't know how to play jungle. People don't know how hard it is. People don't know how easy it is. There's a misconception there of how easy, how hard jungling is. And because of that, the people who don't know how to jungle are so quick to cast blame there. They're so quick to say like, oh, you could have just ganked top. Oh, you could have just gotten dragon. Well, I could have gotten dragon, but the enemy jungler just showed up bot. Bot lane just died. You have no pressure top. If 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4, this 5 + 5 situation is not adding up to 10 for me to take dragon. Says you gotta calm down. You gotta calm down. Like, some people don't weigh all of the cons, the pros, all of the actions that are supposed to go into getting a gank off, getting a dragon, securing a herald. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of stuff that a jungler has to weigh before actually carrying out an action. A lot of people like to say that jungling is easy, like, oh, all you have to do is just get the objectives and we win. A lot of people like to say jungling is hard. Oh, you only have one lane to focus on. However, I, as the jungler, I have to play for top lane, mid lane, bot lane, dragon, herald, baron, nexus. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that the jungler has to weigh. There's so many pros, so many cons that a lot of people just don't understand. Ultimately, y'all, I believe that the jungler has so much power in the game, and with great power comes great responsibility. There's so much responsibility for the jungler. Like I just explained, they have to juggle so much, and this is the reason why jungle diff is such a prevalent saying, because the difference in getting all of the objectives, the difference in between getting ganks off, it makes jungle diff seem so large, and it is large. A good attentive jungler can make or break a game. Jungle diff is so prevalent because the game kind of depends on who they decide to put the resources in. If they decide to permagank top, then top lane, you gotta you got to carry because all the time went into you, baby. If they decided to play bot and get all of those dragons and get the ADC ahead, ADC, you can't go dying 45,000 times, baby. You got to stay in the back and you got to make sure you get them autos off for sure. One thing that's super sad that I see a lot is sometimes the team just needs someone to blame for everything that went wrong. When your lane is lost, maybe you got camp, even though the jungler was playing on the opposite side of the map, you blame the jungler. You say, oh, jungle diff. Well, maybe it was a jungle diff for top lane, but it was also a jungle diff for your team's bot lane. Jungle diff definitely does exist in absolutely every single game. There's always going to be the better player, but it just depends on how you look at the situation, how you look at the game. Perspective is honestly the biggest contender in this situation. Another one of my favorite things that I saw on Twitter was, it also doesn't matter what the jungler is. If the enemy jungler is a Pantheon or your jungler is a Fiddle, Pantheon is going to be out on the map doing stuff before Fiddle, because that's how the champion works. But Fiddle's teammates are going to be furious at Fiddlesticks. So what he's saying is Pantheon is a ganking champion. Think of a Zac, Pantheon, I don't know, another ganking champion. They are straight out the bat. They're going to be wanting to get those ganks off time and time again. They're trying to gank every single second because that's how they play. They've got that CC for that to help get their team ahead. But if you've got a Fiddlesticks or a Nocturne who's trying to farm up for 6 and get their ultimate, which is where their true power lies, then the team has to play for that. You see what I'm saying? So like with different junglers, there's different play styles, and the team has to respect that, because if Nocturne or Fiddlesticks do not have their ultimates and top or mid is spamming for a gank that is not obviously going to guarantee a kill, it puts that jungler even further behind. They're not going to have as much damage. They're not going to have their ulti in time. It puts them even further behind to even help the team be successful. Does that make sense? Do we see? People, the laners want the jungler to play for them, but are y'all also playing for the jungle? That Nocturne needs his ultimate, baby, because then when your top laner is getting pushed under tower, the Nocturne can fly in and gap close and make sure that that enemy top laner is not getting away, rather than just walking into lane. Why have a gank that is probably only going to be 25% successful when you can have an 80 and 90% successful gank if you just wait for him to finish chickens? You see what I'm saying? Like, just play safe. Just play safe. And also, as I'm trying to create this like window pane in between the two, junglers, y'all also need to be communicating with your laners. And I know sometimes you communicate with your laners and they just don't listen. I get it. I play jungle. I play a mean Nocturne jungle from time to time. But what I'm saying is, whenever I play jungle, I'm pinging my routes. I'm telling from the get-go, hey, I'm starting blue and I'm going to be working my way up top. You're getting the first gank after scuttle. So now top lane is looking out. Oh, first gank after scuttle. So I'm waiting till about 3:30 for my jungler to get that scuttle, and then they're coming top. What does that mean I need to do? That means I need to let the enemy top laner push, and then we outnumber 2v1. Now, is every single gank gonna get off perfectly? Like, are the laners always gonna listen? No. But if you made that attempt to communicate, it makes the game so much easier. League of Legends, maybe we should be implementing the League voice for this so that we don't have to type, possibly. I know there's pros and cons to that, so I'll make a video on that later. Let's just finish talking about why League of Legends junglers get so much hate. Binge said, we just trying our best over here, and I know, and I'm sorry that these junglers are getting so much hate. And that was the whole purpose of this video. I hope it provides clarity for those who are on the outside looking in, aka the laners, and the people who are receiving the hate, aka the junglers. Hope it helps, babes. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna let that be the end of the video. I've been talking for too long and my thoughts are all combobulated, and I hope you guys can help me straighten them out down in the comments. So let me know, did these points hit the nail on the head? Do y'all believe this is why junglers get so much hate? Let me know, and maybe you'll be in the next YouTube video. Also, guys, for the next video, I want to do why do ADCs get so much hate? So make sure you type down in the comments, why do ADCs get so much hate? Why do you hate ADCs? I kind of have an idea, and as an ADC main, this one's gonna hurt, but I want to do it for the sake of the community. I love having these discussions with you guys. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, why do you think junglers get so much hate? And for the next video, why do ADCs get so much hate? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, and comment. And then I stream every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, so come stop by so we can do a live conversation and come watch some great, sometimes inting gameplay. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Love you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, so somebody put this, and I decided to put that into Google Translate, and this is what it says. My jungler's sins are unforgivable. He will pass judgment and be cast into the deep lake of fire. For the rest of eternity, he will purge those whom he had injured by burning. I have one to put it there. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have no words. I have no words to say to this. But I'm assuming this is how a lot of people feel towards junglers, I guess. Also, and coming from a jungle main, and jungle mains back me up in the comments, I know that some junglers do not need leashes. I know it's not necessary, but for them hoes in the bot lane who come and they want to leash red or blue, depending on what side that you're on, and they tap the red buff 1 or 2 times and then they walk back the lane, you're not getting a singular gank from me. Nah, I'm joking. I want to win the game. I'm not gonna be that petty. My LP is more important than that. Okay, bye.